Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be showing you how to make some quick and easy Cricut crafts using the Cricut Design Space. They have some ready to make projects already uploaded up there that you just have to make adjustments on your sizes. Like if you're using them for something other than what they have them uploaded as, like I will be doing today. Like for this bear jar, I'm going to actually use this on a mug instead. So I'm just going to walk you through on how to make your changes on it, or if you want to add different layers and things like that, and just give you guys some ideas of some really cute things that you can make that are easy and quick, as long as you just have like the mug that you want to put it on, or a piece of clothing that you want to put it on, and of course your Cricut vinyl or Cricut iron-on that you want to use. So I'm in Cricut Design Space and I'm going to click on the bear jar and just hit customize. And the only thing I'm changing on this is the size of it, just so it'll fit my mug. So I'm just making it a little bit smaller and just hit make and everything's ready to go. So we're going to start off with our bear mug project. So I just have a regular mug that I got from Walmart. I believe it was just like $1 or so. And then I have a buffalo checkered pattern vinyl, and I just had a piece of scrap. So I just cut out my little bear on the Design Space. And just to cut this down more, I'm going to put it on my little cutter. This thing looks pretty dirty, so please don't mind that. I've had it for a very long time. So I've cut out that excess piece, and this can be another scrap piece for another project later on. So I'm just going to set that aside, and then I'm just going to weed this. And this is super easy because it's just one little cutout. And there's our bear. Now to transfer this to your mug, you will need transfer tape. So I'm just going to cut a piece of transfer tape that's big enough to cover my bear. Then you just peel the transfer tape off, and then you cover your bear, and then you can lay it flat. You'll lay in transfer tape straight down and just gradually peel back. This removes that paper backing that's on it. And then just lay your mug down so you can get a good view of it. Try to place that in the center the best you can. Start from the middle and work your way out. I'm going to rub over it with my finger so it attaches good, and then you can remove your transfer tape. And see if there's any bubbling left. You can just smudge that out, and there you have your cute little buffalo check bear mug. Now for our next craft, we're going to be doing this terracotta pot. I'm just going to go on Design Space, and the only thing I'm changing on this is the color and the size. So I'm shrinking it down to the size it'll fit onto my pot. And you'll see all the text is staying together. So if you don't see where you can select ungroup, you can go down to the bottom where it'll say detach, and that'll separate those two text boxes. So the only thing I'm changing is just the color of these, and what this does is puts it on a separate mat so that I know when I am loading my mats in of what color vinyl I need to put into my Cricut cutter. So you'll see the yellow is on a yellow mat and the pink is on a pink mat. And I just have a terracotta pot here, and I've already cut out my two little texts that I'm going to use. I just have to weed these. So I'm just going to start from the edge. Just pull off this outer side of my vinyl and then just weed the inside. And you'll see these little tiny parts that you have to weed out. Just get all those out. Now that one is ready. Alright, for this next part, this text is a lot smaller, so I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see, because it can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes trying to separate these letters. So I'm just starting from this corner. And I would say once you get that bent back, just try to go behind it and push down with your finger right as you're pulling up to keep your letters secured to the paper backing. Let's see, my E is not trying to come with this, so I'm going to have to pick that up on its own and lay it down. Okay, so now that we have that separated, we can go back and take out these little center pieces. So now that they're both ready, we're going to line them back up to how we want them placed onto our flower pot. And this is where your grip mat will come in handy if your paper backings are bending up like mine are right now. But my grip mat is downstairs, so I'm just going to try to do the best that I can with that. And just use my transfer tape. I'm actually using the same piece of transfer tape that I use for my bear mug. And I would say if you don't have your grip mat with you, just get this one placed first. Lay it onto your first one. And then go back and try to line this up with your second one. And now we've turned two pieces into one. So when we pull off these paper backings, it'll just be one decal. Now before we add this onto our flower pot, we're going to make this look a little rustic, so I'm going to add a little white paint over it. And for my paint, I'll be using this Plaster white chalk paint. And so we're just going to try to dry brush on here. So I'm just going to have some paint on my paintbrush and just try to brush it out onto, I'm actually using my paper backing for one of my decals. So I'm just going to brush it out. Oop, I had a little paint on my finger. Okay, so now we're just going to brush over our flower pot. And see if you have it just barely on the paintbrush, just a dry brush, then it gives it that rough effect. Okay, so now we have covered it all in that Plaster white chalk paint, just that little dry brush over it to give it that rustic look effect. And I'm going to find which side looks the best to me, which side I like the best. And that's the side my text is going to go on. So I think this side is going to be the side I'll use. And so you'll just lay your transfer tape down and just work your text onto that transfer tape. Just be careful lifting up, sometimes it likes to stay on the paper backing. That's one down. I'll do the other one. Now we have both on there, and we can lay this onto our flower pot. So I'm going to start in the middle and just work my way out to try to eliminate chance of bubbling and things like that. Just remove that paper backing. Make sure all your text is staying on. This T wants to be stubborn. Okay. And now just rub over it with your fingers just to make sure it's stuck on there good. And there's our little flower pot. And you'll see it looks like it's curving up a little bit on this edge, so if you want to try to avoid it from looking like it's going up, then you can separate your two decals, lay the first one on, and then like if you have a longer sentence like this, you might want to do this separate from this top one, and then that way it'll go across straight instead of having this curved angle going on that mine kind of has. But I still think it turned out really cute. Now for this next one, I'm going to use this marble flower pillow design. And I'm going to shrink that down to the size I need for my little tea cloth. And so I'm going to duplicate this to make this a layered design. And I'm going to go down to the bottom right corner where it says contour. And if you hit hide all contours, and it has all those little cutout pieces, it makes it one solid piece. And I'm going to change the colors on these as well, just so I know which colors to load into my mat as I'm cutting. And since this is an iron-on project, make sure you put the shiny side down of your vinyl and that you hit that mirror on button on the cutting screen. Now I have these two different colors of iron-on that I'm going to be putting on there, and they're actually going to be layered. So we're going to start off with our first layer, which is going to be like this orange color. And you'll just start from the edge, and we're just going to work our way out. Move that out the way first of all. And that's the easy one. It's just the first layer of it. And then our second layer has a little more detail in it, so this one will be a little harder. So I'm just going to get this outer layer off first. They're sticking together. And then we have all these little tiny pieces on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that, but these are the parts that we have to weed out. Now we have finished this one, then we'll have our orange layer down and then put the pink over top, and then all the orange will show through to the inside of the flower. And I don't have a Cricut Easy Press, so y'all don't laugh at me, but I am using a regular clothing iron. I don't do enough iron-on projects to invest in an Easy Press, so that's why I don't worry about getting one really. Once you have that layer down, then we can do our second layer. The only hard part about doing layering like this is just making sure that you have everything lined up correctly. There we have our little tea towel with our cute little flower print on it. Now for the final craft, we're going to do this little tote bag design. And it's actually already to the size that I need since I'm using a tote bag to make this pillow out of it. So I'm not going to be changing any sizes or anything. The only thing I'll be changing on this one is just the colors, just so it'll separate the mats again for me. So if you're using these projects as they have them uploaded, then you don't really have to make any changes if you're using the same material as they're using. On the screen below the design you want to use, they have a list of the items that you need to make it and the sizes and everything that they have it set as. So if you're using the same type of products that they're using or the same material that they're using, then you really don't have to make any changes unless you just want to use it for a different project. That would be the only reason that you would need to make changes. So for the most part, these are ready to make projects that you really don't have to do anything with if you make them as they have them uploaded. So we're going to turn this little tote bag into a pillow. And so first I need to weed my text that I'm going to use. I'm going to iron this stuff onto this tote bag. So I'm going to start with the smaller piece first. This is just text. This will be easy. This is how it'll look once we iron that on there. So we're going to start off with the first layer, the biggest layer is what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to just try to center this onto this cloth. key isn't staying on. We're going to add our last layer. Just place this right in here. Well, this not only is a cute little design that you can use in like your craft room, but you can also put this in like your kids' room. This would be adorable for that. Now, if you don't want to turn this into a pillow, you can keep this as a tote bag and use it to put your craft supplies in, or if you just want to store some things into it, it would be really cute for that as well. I just don't have any use for it. It's another tote bag in my craft room. I have several others that I've made, so I'm going to try to just turn this into a cute little pillow as a decor piece for my craft room. So we're going to start off by removing these straps right here, and you're just going to cut them off. So just cut them as close as you can right here along this portion of the bag. So now that we have our straps cut off of it, I'm going to fill this up with some polyfill to turn it into a pillow. Now that I have this filled up as much as I want, I'm going to secure this now and close it off. And if you have a sewing machine, you can just sew this together really easily. I don't have a sewing machine, and I have somehow lost my needle and thread, so instead I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to attach these two together and close this off. Now I'm going to cut a slit into the sides here just so I can fold them down. So I'm going to fold this one in, so then we can hide all this part where the straps were. So I'm going to fold this side in and fold the other side in, and then just run my hot glue right along here. Oops. And then just put your stuffing in there and just bring this down so that you can push these together right along that seam that we have created. You gotta kind of work quick with your hot glue drying on you. And just see if there's any pockets that maybe didn't get filled with the glue, and just go back and seal those up. And see, now we have it all closed off and it looks like it has been sewn. It's sealed shut. Now we have a cute little pillow that you can decorate your room with, or a kid's room. It's really cute and easy to make. Just using a simple little tote bag. You can buy a pack of these from Amazon. So I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments which project you enjoyed the most and which one you plan to try. And also, if you have any questions about anything that I didn't cover in the video, or if anything that you want me to cover in my next video.